Hi guys, welcome back. Scatlink here, and we're off for more of Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And in the last episode, we finally went into that cave in the marshlands that I left for a later time because we had to spend money on getting a bomb after clearing out the Misery Mire, because we had crystals 5 and 6 were the prerequisites to get the super bomb, which gave us this nice gold sword here, and as you saw when I went in the menu, the silver arrows. Actually, you can see it on the HUD, it changes there as well. And in this episode, we are heading toward the final dungeon, but we haven't actually explored the entirety of both Death Mountain and, well, the entirety of Dark Death Mountain, because we haven't actually been able to do anything since we were else there as a bunny. Tektites are now roaming the area, as we've already seen them right there. They just jump away when you slash at them. But they only appeared after Aghanim, well, fled Hyrule and Zelda was whisked away. So why are we here? Well, if you remember, there was only one thing that we can do on this side of the mountain in the Dark World, but it kind of segments us off in this lower area where we have a fairy fountain at the bottom left, and one other cave that we can jump into. That's the cave I want to go for. So we'll hop right down in this little ledge here. Haha! And we have some whack-a-moles, so let's go whack them. Now, obviously, I flew in. What am I doing? Make sure you have full magic. I'm going to have to activate this and then gun it. It's better to just run normally and not Pegasus run, because you could whack in the walls, which will sorely eat your magic. It's also good to have half consumption, but yes. You can see why you need the maximum magic. But yes, the reason why I had to fly into Death Mountain itself is because if you remember, the GBA version does not allow you to start at the mountain grotto, but you can easily fly there anyway, so it's not that big of a problem. We got the Cana Burner! If you swing it once, a ring of light will protect you. Another invincibility granting item, but unlike the magic cape where it makes you invisible and invincible, the, where is it? There it is. The Cana Burner, which is the final item in the item screen, actually, is, yeah, it gives you invincibility, but it also gives you offensibility. How it's basically your spin attack. It makes you invincible, but you're not invisible. But the difference is that whatever enemies touch you will pretty much take the same damage as your sword beam. In fact, your spin attack pretty much is the same graphics you use for the sword beam. And as you saw there, by making our way through, just like with the magic cape as well, if you have it, you know, active and you change the item, it will deactivate. Unlike the magic cape, it actually costs less magic to use, so it's actually a more worthwhile item. You use one item to get the other, because you probably won't be able to get through that even with max health. Don't know about armor sets, though. So now we have two methods on getting to the opposite side of the mountain here. There is a bit of a stretch of land that seems to connect the two halves of the mountain in the Dark World, but we can't get up to that tower because if we use the magic mirror to try and get up there, we end up on top of Spectral Rock in the wrong world. So, but we can actually go across this bridge in the Light World because you require the hammer. But since we also have the hook shot, in fact, since we have everything, if we just pop off the mirror down here, we can actually start from here and work our way up. No, this is not a magical portal. Although it did have a heart in there, which was kind of nice considering I'm getting flattened. Thank you for that game. But yes, Death Mountain, kind of a funny thing. Yes, you could, you know, jump down in this pit, or we could hookshot across it. And these Tektites are always here, despite if you've knocked out Aghanim out of the Light World or not. We got a bunch of caves, but here's the thing. This is Death Mountain, right? You would expect nothing but death here. Well, evidence to the contrary, actually. If I head my way down here, yeah, this cave, hookshot across here. You can see this part if you go into the little pit below. Fairy fountains. Plus, in the Dark World, there was also a great fairy fountain. That's awfully generous for a mountain that's supposed to invite death. It's more like life-bringing mountain, am I right? Yep, we'll go in here. Now, this spot up here, I think it's that spot. Remember that spot for later. For now, though, we've got a bit of a bulbous wall here that we can blow up. Definitely hollow. Don't want to be too early to blow ourselves up. Another convenience store, which again offers red potion and hearts inside of Death Mountain, right next to a fairy fountain where you can recover at full for free anyway. And by the way, these two caves, they look like they wouldn't mesh because like all this is in the way. Notice this. Then we'll go to the next area and it goes across. This is actually going over that little stump. That little stump in the other room is holding this little bridge up. It's a little bit of a weird perspective thing. I guess this slopes up visually as well, even though it doesn't. It's a little bit weird on the spatial awareness. It always seemed to bother me, but I'm just letting you know that is kind of intended. So now we'll go up our way through these caves and explore them, see what we can do. Some barries here, we can whack them with a hook shot, so we don't have to worry about getting an electric shot, because even if they're sparking, the hook shot can kill them. In fact, it can kill these guys as well. It's a little bit more stronger than the boomerang. We haven't seen much combat use of it yet, so I've got it equipped so I can use it on a few foes. We've got a little bit of a falling puzzle here. We need to find out where we need to drop down into. We've got a few choices. If we do this one, we'll be back to the start, but there is also this one all the way over here, which is kind of out of the way. Yeah, this cave. This is the cave I was on about. This bit is what you want to remember. This is very important, and yet even more fairies within Death Mountain, next to a fairy fountain that gives you 4 fairies, next to a shop that sells life potion and hearts. It's like, you can't go wrong. This place is life-giving mountain. And if you want to go back to the beginning, you just fall down here. And then you land on this platform. That little, if we went through that door, it would have just taken us to that ledge above us. So we don't need to worry about that. It will just lead us up there and we would hop down anyway. So, yeah, no need to worry about that. So we'll head over to the next cave. You can drop down to that entryway as well, but no, you can't drop down to that particular entryway, but you would drop down from that entryway, so we haven't really missed anything. There's a chest there, so we're going to have to find our way around to grab that. So we need to get up top again, probably up top from above that particular ledge. Ouch, you mug! Spindly Johnny, get out of my face. We've done those 2 already. So it's time to head down over here. Ouch. Ouch again. There we are. So we've got pits over there with a few holes. We've also got stairs. We won't go up the mountain yet. We will actually fall. And this is actually where the spatial awareness doesn't make sense. We're back in this area. We've gone up here. I'm guessing this bit slopes upwards, because, like, look, this bit is on an elevated flooring, yeah? But then we jump down to go into a cave, where we jump down to get to the cave that's above us. This is the only time where spatial awareness, like the 3D space that's supposed to be invoking, is completely disregarded. I mean, this side of the mountain, perfectly fine. This side of the cave, excuse me, but this side of the cave is completely shoved out of the window. Doesn't make any sense spatially, because we've effectively fallen up a bit. Unless when we're going around the corner, it spirals up even higher, but there's nothing conveying that. So, it's a little bit of a weird spatial awareness thing. I know I'm being extremely nerdy, I'm pointing that out, but it ruins the immersion of the world that was built before me. You know what I mean? I mean, they implemented a 3D, like, a limited Z-axis. You'd think that they would try to adhere to it as much as possible. But here is where it kind of crumbles a bit. So, also, 2 chests that just gave us a few items to stock up with. Nothing too dramatic. But this is the only way that we can actually reach this cave over here. Which is known as Hype Cave. Like all the other caves that had a thief and 4 chests, this has 5 chests. Now, here's the thing. The hookshot can't go over these little stumps, but the boomerang can slip through the gap. And it's just 100 rupees. Nothing too dramatic. Never going to come back here again. I guess if you really need a potion, you got some money here to go grab yourself a potion. But you can grab fairies anyway, so... Again, just more reasons why the whole bloody mountain is kind to you. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this. And if we do take this... no, wrong cave. I need to go back to the cave we were just in. Again, I need to go round. It's a little bit annoying. See, look, we jumped down and then we got to climb back round. Unless this is visually sloping upwards, but there's nothing conveying that. So, unless when we walk into this cave, it goes straight up, like a slope. Doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, if we do go up here, spatial awareness does actually make sense. Because we can just get past these guys without dying. There we are, 20 roops, 25 roops. Again, why do they always come in pairs? We are now on top of the mountain, where if we dash Aruni all the way this way... If we hammer our way back through here, we'll be back at the Tower of Hera. So there is actually a way on getting all the way through Death Mountain without having to go to the Dark World. Speaking of the Dark World, we might actually need to use it at some point, because one, we need to go to the dungeon, and 2, you can just barely, in the GBA version, see there's a heart piece on that island over there, right at the corner. Obviously, with the field of view of the Super Nintendo version, it'll be a little bit more obvious, but you can still barely see it, so the intrigue is still there. This is what I mean by that. You can drop from above. See, you can drop to that entrance, which you don't really need to do. This one we kind of need to do, because this one's a bit of a spiral. You can just dash for it, not a problem. Just turn every time you get to a turn point, because otherwise you are going to whack the wall. And with that, we can hop down this hole and reach this chest of 50 rupees. Jesus Christ, enough with the money. I mean, I know we're spelunking through this place, and I don't need the money, but if you did, then it's here for you. I guess that's one takeaway from this. So, I believe by hopping down this way, we'll literally just be back at the bottom of this cave. Hopping down this one will take us back to that ledge, and hopping down this one is a fake out. So, that's pretty much all that has to offer with those entryways. Now, I know we haven't gone to the very end of Death Mountain here in the Light World. We'll deal with that in a bit, because we are not done down here. If we come down here, secret little warp hole. There we are, so now we're on the bottom end of Dark Mountain, and yeah, again, I don't actually have a name for this. I think they still call it Death Mountain, because it's another one of the closest places where it's connected, but we are on the opposite end of this area where it had no bridge, even though it still has, like, those little monuments that signal otherwise. But there's not a lot of caves here, so it shouldn't actually take us that long to get through. I mean, like, no caves there. That's 2 caves already notched out. There's 2 caves here. What about down this side? No cave there either. Well, only 2 caves down here for us to explore. Yeah, the Dark World doesn't have a lot of side quests for us. It's mostly just dungeons, but that makes a lot more sense considering that there are 7 dungeons to go through. We've got multiple ways to go through this, and this is a bit of a tight squeeze, a bit claustrophobic, but it's fine. We do not need to actually go this way, because there are blocks blocking the way that we can't get by even if we tried. So what we want to do is head up this stairway and go through this area and see what we can do. Knock you out of the way. Can't really get across this hole unless I wanted a bomb jump, but there's no point because we pop this up. There is no other way for us to go other than to the left. The blocks are intentionally done, so you have to do it that way. However, we can just hop right back to the opposite side of the blocks, which is kind of funny, because if you just walk back down the stairs, they would have reset anyway, because it's a different floor, different sector. You cause the transition to happen, so you don't really need to fall down, but it kind of leads you there anyway, so it would add up. And for here, we just want to drop into the most bottom one, and now we can grab everything here. Full magic. 20 rupees, push this up, grab 3 more bombs, which gives us the tutorial again. Very easy to get past, so it's not that annoying. Head back up the stairs here. Do not dash, I'm pretty sure. Nope, you can dash, I'm thinking of a different cave. And yes, that is actually a way on getting up to Dark Death Mountain, although it is a bit more of a rigmarole to do so. But we still have one more cave that we haven't hopped into yet, and by hopping down, we could see a lot more holes and entrances that aren't even on the map, unlike where it was on the opposite side on the original Death Mountain in Hyrule. Bit interesting, that. Yep, it's just a convenience store, so that's a little bit annoying. However, we can explore the upper half of Dark Death Mountain later, because we do need to go back into the Light World now. We are actually done here for now, so just to make it easier to get back up as well, we might as well hop into the Light World. This rock always has a fairy in it, by the way, so if you really are desperate, it is here. Ouch. Thank you for that. Head over to this final plateau right here. It doesn't actually look like it is on the map, but yep, we have a little bit of a plateau here with 3 pins in a particular shape. Let's get rid of this rock. That requires the Titan mitt to get through. We need the hammer up here. I think it's this one, that one, and that one. So yes, it's, think of it this way. Courage, wisdom, power. Normally you would say power, wisdom, courage. Say it in the reverse order. That's the idea. We open up this warp point, and that has opened up something that's actually quite interesting for the GBA version, which I'll get into in just well, a bit, really. I've still got a few things to do. We need Quake in order to open up this dungeon. Stick our sword right in the slot, right in the pedestal, causing an earthquake, and we have access to Turtle Rock. Any day now. There we go. We have access to the final dungeon, but we're not going to hop in there right now. We still have things to do, so let's head back to the left, back to where we made our way up here. And do not go any further left, because you will regret it. We'll just pick this up, toss that away, and if we have a little look on the map here, there is actually a ledge we can jump from if we make it over there. There's an entryway here that wasn't in the light world, so let's see what we can do here. Got some hook-shottable shenanigans going on here. I think I want to go down this way first. Yes, I do. Do not pick up any of the pots. Yes, there may be some stuff in them, but you will screw yourself out otherwise if you want to make it back without taking damage. Yeah, I'm going to have to go around the other way. That's fine. I think I've actually done this in a particular path. Yeah, I've actually done this in the correct order, so I will loop around on myself anyway if I didn't pick up any pots. So that's perfectly fine. Wow. Death-defying or what? You see that slow-mo? That was not me edited. That was real time. And I screwed it up anyway. Oh well, I had to go back here anyway, so it's fine. It's only a heart. But if you were noticing when we were going through there, there's actually a platform across here that we can't hookshot towards. There is no way on seeing this unless you do this, so I do not feel bad to tell you to use ether. The polar icy winds will glaze the invisible platforms with ice temporarily, so you can find your way across. I'll do it again just so you can see the other half of it. Normally, when these platforms are around, you should be able to light a torch in order to, you know, make them revealed, because the reflection of the torch's flame will actually reveal them. But in this particular case, you have to keep popping off ether. And that is the only way to see that floor. Now, you don't have to do that in order to actually walk across. You can just do it if you already know it. You can just go straight across it if you know where the floor is. It's just invisible. It's always there. It's tangible. Well, that's a great fairy we don't need. If you recovered my magic, then I would have had a reason. Didn't bomb that right wall, because that right wall isn't bombable. This one is, however. And even more fairies on Dark Death Mountain. Seriously. This is nowhere near death. You cannot die here. Well, unless you go to the left here. Well, we're on this island in the wrong world, and we can easily hop back down, back to the rest of the mountain if we so wish, but there is something that I'm after here. So give me that. And, yeah, there's not actually anything here. Now, what we can do is hop back into the dark world and go downwards, but there's actually something I want to show you. With the flute in the GBA version, this is an exclusive thing. Notice that we now have a 9th warp point. In the original, if you wanted to get all the way back up to where we actually are, you would have to go to the first warp point, then either go through the dark world to hop onto the spectacle rock in the light world, then make your way across to where this mark for number 9 is in order to get back to the dark world on this side of the mountain, or hookshot across the bottom half and take that dark warp. In the GBA version, it gives you an additional warp point to take you straight back to where you would warp for Total Rock. And that was literally the only excuse I had to use this warp. I mean, it is also a fast travel point to get to this top half of the mountain in the Dark World anyway, because there is a Dark World warp here, but once you unlock that Dark World warp in order to get on top of Turtle Rock's entrance, that's when that becomes available in the GBA version. A nice little bit of a quality improvement. And by getting here in 20 minutes, we are now in Turtle Rock, and guess what? We are doing a bit of this dungeon. Scatlink, do you possess the medicine of magic? If not, I recommend going any further. Well, I have cure-all medicine. It's basically red and blue potion combined. So, yeah, we kind of need this. Now, we couldn't actually enter this dungeon unless we had multiple requisites. We needed Quake, but we also needed the Titan's Mitt and the Hammer in order to access the Dark World Warp in order to use Quake. And once we get in, we also need the Cana Burner. That's a lot of items just to get past the first room, innit? In fact, that's a lot of items just to get into the first room. If you see these question mark blocks, put your own block on it, and it will become an elevator. Don't ask me how that works, it's magic. It is a staff after all. So yeah, this room kind of branches off into multiple paths. What we want to do is ride this around, counterclockwise for the most part. I want to go down here first, at least. There's an eyeball above that door, but it's not firing at us at the moment. 2 fireballs to ambush us, we're grabbing the most useless item in the game. Dodge the fireballs, and if we try to head upwards, the door locks. It's completely gone. It's not bombable. It's not even a door, and the eyeball shoots at us. How do you get out? Backwalk. Use the spin attack, face downwards, you can get out of the room that way. I think that's the intended method, because that's how I've always done it. I think under there is magic, full magic refill, because we kind of need it. Even though the game says you should have some medicine of magic on you. Oh, well, that was magic. I might have got it wrong then. Damn it. Could have used that later. Yeah, the game says that you should have medicine of magic, because magic's going to be a requirement, as you can clearly tell. It gets really bad in this room, but I'll check the one down below first. And it's actually the room that we kind of need to go in right now. Yeah, this room. Yeah, this gives us magic. But it also gives us arrows, which we don't really need to use. Why gives us arrows? I mean, I guess it's to take out the enemies around here if you know. But yeah, despite the game saying that you need medicine and magic, it does give you plenty of full refills. The problem is, if you pick them up without knowing, or pick up the pot without knowing, you might as well grab it because it's going to despawn. So, just letting you know, this bottom pot has magic in it. Full magic refill. Do not use it unless you need to. We've got a 4-torch path here, one of the most infamous rooms in this game. We need to light all 4 to open up the doorway. And with the slight screen crunch of the GBA version, it could be a little bit annoying, but if you know where to use this, it's not much of a problem. These little dots allow you to force the platform to go in certain directions, if you so wish. So what I want to do is go Hapushki that way, like that, then hold... Oh, feck. It didn't actually light it. Feckin'! Well, I still got it first try, but the flame didn't travel up all the way. It must be either due to the screen crunch. They're very slight. I gotta stress that enough. It's very slight screen crunch of the GBA version, but that always screws me over and I have to, like, light it last. But you can still do it that way. Right, so now we've got that going. We've got some spike rolls here that are trying to mow us down. Easily dodgeable. You can also use the Cana Burner or even the cape in order to completely dodge these and make them... Well, if you have the magic for it, but you probably won't want to be using magic too much since you need to make lifts to get around, which we'll be able to see where we got to go because it's quite sprawling yet again. It's very blocky. Not really got anything to do with a turtle, but it's more like the entrance is Turtle Rock and it leads to the inner workings of Dark Death Mountain. But there's a bunch of big rooms near the end, so they should be able to get through pretty quick. When rooms are actually smaller, they take longer to get through, so... I guess that's some kind of a caveat for you, I guess. Oh. Normally I'd just brute force that, but I decided to dodge him. Right, so I could use a bit of magic right now, so let's go grab that. There we are. And now let's go north. I need this. I don't know why I keep doing that. I did that with the Cana Burner, which I just, like... Where do I go for my item? It's like, I want to go use a certain item, but I'm not allowed to. Oh, no! Oh, no! No! Keep back, please! I do not know how to dodge, except for the fact that I can just hide in the door and you can't get me. When they lock you in the room with these tiles, that's when you have to deal with them normally, but you just stand in the doorway when it's open and they can't get you. So... I can just sit there and do absolutely nothing. Thank you for the free fairy and free magic. Look at that. That's effectively a red and green potion. That's a blue potion. You gave me 7 hearts and full magic refill again. Why? I mean, it's funny. The game is difficult, but it does give you the resource to continue even if you can't afford the potions. It's like... The game is fair. And you have many weapons, as well as 3 effective screen nukes. Multiple ways to power yourself up. Use the silver arrows if you got them earlier to take out enemies that are a pain. And even so, you have 2 items that grant invincibility and 1 that does damage. Take all them out in a couple of swings. We've got a pokey here. I know they have a different name, but they're effectively a pokey. You whack them, they bounce around the place. Or you could just, you know, snipe them with a silver arrow and kill him. They drop pretty good drops, but they also do tons of damage, and their body, just like going all over the place if you don't hit them again, can also do massive damage. That one happened to drop a key, though. Watch out for these bow wows. That's what the chain chomps are called in the Zelda universe. They also do massive damage, and they can eat bombs as well as the blocks you make from the Cana Samaria. So just use the boomerang to hit these blocks. Don't worry about it. Can we push the block over here as well? Doesn't seem to do nothing. We just had to push one of the 2 blocks. Get this chest quickly. Okay, I'm about to die. That's when I pop off a fairy, because I'm not popping off the magic yet, with the cure-all yet. That was close. I was standing on... I don't know why, when you release something out of a bottle... I know I'm on a tangent, I'm going with a motor mouth right now. When you release something out of a bottle, you have to wait a bit, unless you chuck the boomerang. I should have done that. But hey, I still had magic, I could have made myself invincible. In fact, I might just do that. I'm going to use the Cana Burner, mainly because I don't want to eat up my magic considerably. Oh, that's fair! Opening a chest turned it off, I didn't realise that, but as you noticed, the spinning thing of the Cana Burner, the swirly, that can activate the crystal switches, so... nope. There we are. Let's put that back to red. I don't think we actually need them at the moment, so that's fine. It's not going to be a judgmental thing until we actually need them again. Well, I thought I timed that wrong then, but I got lucky. At least we can get our health back from the chain chomps here, so that's perfectly fine. And I thought they were going to scissor me then, I could have scissored them, but nope, one swerved me and got me anyway. There we go, at least I'm back to full health now though. And if we, you know what, I'm getting the hammer out, this is going to take too long. There we are, I'll get some magic. And I'm pretty much back up to full, other than bombs. These guys can drop bombs. They didn't drop any bombs for me. We've got another pokey here. As well as another anti-fairy. I would like to get rid of the anti-fairy first so I don't lose magic. Because these things, even though obviously they are helpful, well, healthful because of health. Because the fairies, you cheeky bastard. Oh god, it takes them out by segment. Well, there is another easy way of doing it. If you... Oh! Okay, never mind then. The arrow did take out all segments. It just didn't look like it. Fair enough. But, yeah. Even though the anti-fairies can be quite helpful with their health, with their fairies and all that, if they keep hitting you, you're going to be out of magic, and that's going to be a pain because you won't be able to turn them into fairies, and you won't be able to make progress. So, it's a good thing that you can get magic pretty much... You basically get a full magic refill at the start of the bloody dungeon, if you remember. So, if you just reset the dungeon with the magic mirror, leave the dungeon, come back in, all the magic refills are back anyway, so you can go through if you're conservative enough. I forget what door I want to go through. I think it's this one. Yes, it's this one. I always get that wrong. I'm glad I didn't get it wrong today. So let's whack this. There we are. Like I said, it wasn't that big of a judgmental difference. There was a lot of enemies here. You know what? I'm not even having it. Bombos! We have the magic. As I literally just said, we might want to keep our magic. Screw it. I mean, if you really do need magic, try to find an enemy that you can freeze with the ice rod and then whack it with a hammer. You have a pretty good chance. And also, 4 anti-fairies in this room. I just got 2 fairies and a full magic refill again. Game, you were too generous to me. Just like when my brother was playing this game, you gave him nothing but fairies from normal enemies. Must have something to do with the Pond of Happiness, surely. Because I was told about the luck thing, which is why when I went there last to upgrade, that's when I informed you of that, because I was told in the comments. Got the big key! Haven't bumped into the big chest yet, though. Or a door that requires it. I did see one. Like, well, you would probably see it. That door looks normal, but that, yeah, in the SNES version, you'll see the door below me there. Looks normal, it's actually a big key door. For whatever reason, the reverse side is just a normal one, but you can't go through it backwards, don't worry about it. A little bit of a restock unit right here, more full magic. It just makes you full circle in many ways. Takes your resources and gives them back in earnest. And it also loops you back around to where you kind of need to be when you get the big key. Because we've only had one other way to go, and we haven't gone there yet. Which is this one right over here. Also, this looks bloody awesome, all this lava, seriously. I'm glad they brought that kind of aesthetic back during the remake. Yeah, if I just hit you with fire... Yeah, it one-shots them. So, these guys are not a threat at all. Although, sometimes they can swerve you like that. It's fine. Actually, they're probably just... 2 uses of the fire rod, is pretty much just 1 use of bombos. I should have just done that. As you can see, door requires the big key, but I don't want to go that way yet because we've got other rooms down below. Or down south, I guess. That would make more sense in a visual standpoint. What's in this room, since we couldn't access it in the other room. There's the big chest. There's also an entry/exit there. So can we make our way out of the dungeon? Oh, that's not pleasant. I see you. That was a double entendre right there. Need bombs. Because there's a bubble wall down here. Is that a real one? Yes, it is! Holy crap! Yep, it is not worth knocking these pots out. Although, this does give me a chance to show you something that the GBA version adds to the silver arrows. They can now cleave through pots and rocks. Thank you for the rewards. I'm out. Oh boy. Right, so let's head over here. Let's grab this chest, because we've seen it. But we were on the ledges outside. Well, if you remember when we were jumping down from outside, there was a ledge that we couldn't reach, so we'll use the mirror on that. Speaking of mirrors, we now have the mirror shield that is absolutely huge. It can now reflect beams that the old shield cannot. Except for Beamos beams. I don't know why those beams are so strong, but look at the size of this thing. How does Link see where he's going? It's as big as him. He's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I mean, it looks fine on the side, kind of like the knights at the beginning of the game. At the back, though, it kind of sticks out quite a bit, and at the front, it's just stupid looking. But yes, like I said, we want to be using our mirror out of here. I believe that we want to be standing here, because this was the ledge that we couldn't reach in any possible manner. We can't jump down to it, we can't jump down from it. This room is only accessible via a dungeon via the Dark World. So you have to go halfway through a dungeon in order to reach this room in order to access it. Yeah, it's kind of a rigmarole. If you didn't know that you had to use it here, you probably would miss it. Also, change from the SNES version to the GBA version. These are Igors. They're actually Glorias, green Glorias in the SNES version. So, the main reason being is because that trying to align them so you can snipe them is a little bit hard to do since they mirror your movement. And it was a little bit of a pain. So in this version, they changed them to Igors, since you can bait them instead of you happening to get the others into place. I would actually like that, but I don't think my boomerang can squeeze through that gap. Yes, it can, because it can't actually go through these blocks, but I managed to, yeah, thread the needle, as it were. And in this little... Look, this is a nice room, considering the decor. And in this nice little room is our final heart piece of the game. We have all 24 heart pieces in the game, and this is the most sneakiest one of them all. So it's quite fitting that the final heart piece we grab happens to be a challenge. We have to go halfway through a dungeon, know that we have to use the mirror at one of the entrances in order to reach a ledge that we can't normally reach in the Dark World. If we go to the other side and use the mirror there, we'll be back on that ledge, where we fall down and just grab that chest with 50 rupees earlier in the episode. But with that, we are done. So, in the next episode, guys, we have got the rest of Turtle Rock to go through. We've got 1/4 left of the basement first floor, the entirety of basement second floor, and then the boss. So with that, see you guys then.